At flipsidegaming.com you can use the promo code LVD to get a 10% discount on orders over $10, including the exclusive Richard Kane Ferguson playmats featuring art such as the memorable Dakon Blackblade, so get yours today. Hello and welcome to another episode of Friendly Friday, a weekly series where I take a look at budget, standard or modern decks, and this week we're taking a look at a red-green standard deck built around the kicker mechanic from Dominaria. So let's take a look at the entire deck list, starting out with our 1-drops, where immediately we have a card with the kicker mechanic, Shivan Fire, single red to deal 2 damage to target creature. You can also pay the kicker cost of 4 generic mana, so a total of 5 mana to then deal 4 damage to target creature instead. We also have 4 copies of Llanowar Elves to give us some acceleration, get to our kicker spells a lot sooner. Then we also have 2 copies of Abrade, which can deal 3 damage to a creature or destroy an artifact. Then we have 4 copies of Elfhame Druid, which is great in this deck, generating green mana, but can also generate double green if we're trying to play kicked spells, which is going to be very useful in this deck. We also have 4 copies of Untamed Kavu, which is a 2 mana 2/2 with Vigilance and Trample, but most of the time we want to try and kick the Untamed Kavu, so it's going to cost us a total of 5 mana to get a 5/5 with Vigilance and Trample instead. We also have 3 copies of Fight with Fire, which is a good removal spell at 3 mana, being able to deal 5 damage to target creature, but we can also pay the kicker cost of 5 and a red, so for a total of 9 mana, we can deal 10 damage divided as we choose among any number of creatures and or players, so this can just deal 10 damage to our opponent in the late game, which is very powerful. Then we have 3 copies of Grow from the Ashes as a nice little ramp spell with kicker, so for 3 mana we can search up 1 basic land, put it into play untapped, and for 5 mana we can search up 2 basic lands and put them into play untapped. Then we also have 1 copy of Rhonas the Indomitable, a nice little mana sink, so for 3 mana we get a 5/5 Death Touch Indestructible God that can't attack or block unless we control a creature with power 4 or greater. But then for 2 and a green we can also give another target creature +2/+0 until end of turn, and it also gains Trample, so we can just pump one of our smaller creatures if we want to with Rhonas' ability to make sure that Rhonas can also attack and block. And since we are ramping a little bit with our mana elves and Grow from the Ashes, being able to put that extra mana into pumping our creatures is very useful as well. Then we have 4 copies of Hallar, the Firefletcher, which is kind of our main payoff card for playing all these kicker cards, a 3 mana 3/3 with Trample, that whenever we cast a spell with kicker, we get to put a +1/+1 counter on Hallar, and he also deals 1 damage to each opponent for each +1/+1 counter on it, so that can quickly add up and deal a ton of damage out of nowhere. Then we have 3 copies of a Verix Bladewing, another great kicker card, 4 mana for a 4/4 flyer, which is already fine, and if we pay the kicker cost of just 3 generic mana, we get an additional 4/4 legendary token named Verix Bladewing, so that makes for a total of 8 power and toughness of flying creatures for just 7 mana, and if we can ramp it out with an Elfhame Druid, we can even do it a turn or 2 sooner, so very powerful card in this deck. We also have 2 copies of Territorial Allosaurus, 4 mana for a 5/5. If we pay the kicker cost of 2 and a green, when the Allosaurus enters the battlefield, we get to fight another target creature, so it can act as a nice little removal spell against smaller creatures. We also have 2 copies of Grand Warlord Radha, 4 mana for a 3/4 with haste, and whenever 1 or more creatures we control attack, we get to add that much mana in any combination of red or green to our mana pool. Until end of turn, that mana also doesn't deplete between phases, so that way we can still use that mana in our second main phase if we want to. And last but not least, 2 copies of Glorybringer, 5 mana for a 4/4 with flying and haste. We can exert Glorybringer when it attacks, which means it won't be untapping on the following turn, but if we do exert a Glorybringer, we get to deal 4 damage to a non-dragon that the opponent controls, so a nice little removal spell on a stick. And then our mana base is pretty straightforward, 10 forests, so we have a lot of untapped sources to play Llanowar Elves on turn 1, 6 mountains, 4 Rootbound Crag, which enters the battlefield untapped if we control a mountain or a forest, and 4 copies of Sheltered Thicket, which is both a mountain and a forest, enters the battlefield tapped, and we can also cycle it for 2 generic mana. And of course we also have 3 copies of Grow from the Ashes to make sure we can fix our red mana, so we can cast Glorybringer and Verix Bladewing in time. Then going over to the sideboard, we have additional copies of Shivan Fire against small creature decks, Blossoming Defense against removal heavy decks to protect our creatures, 2 copies of Abrade to deal with artifacts mostly, but we can also bring it in if we need more creature removal. Crushing Canopy is great against the blue-white control decks that have a lot of enchantments. That might also bring in a Lyra Dawnbringer out of the sideboard. 3 copies of Thrashing Brontodon to deal with artifacts and enchantments, while also putting a 3/4 body in play. 2 copies of Lifecrafter's Bestiary to draw additional cards in the grindy matchups. Then we have 2 Prowling Serpopards against counterspell heavy decks. 1 Deathgorge Scavenger, which is pretty useful at gaining some life against aggressive decks or exiling cards against graveyard decks. And last but not least, 1 copy of Nissa Vital Force, which is also great against the more controlling decks that aren't good at pressuring our planeswalkers. So that's the deck. Now let's jump into some games and see how the deck does. Alright, we're on the draw. Don't think we can keep a 5-lander here with the Llanowar Elves. This one I'll keep, and don't think we want another elf. So turn to Hallar, that's not bad. Opponent on the red-black. Alright, opponent on Mardu. And Tatsamok reveal to the Llanowar Elves. That's gonna make things a little tricky. Still think we're just gonna run out Hallar here. Turn 6 is still pretty far away. And Gideon of the Trials can freeze up Hallar. Alright, so we could run out a Verix Bladewing, but we're not too far away from kicking Verix Bladewing instead, since we have this Grow from the Ashes that we can kick next turn. Let's attack for 1 on the Gideon. So if we just play the Grow from the Ashes this turn, then we'll have access to 6 mana next turn, which still isn't enough to kick the Verix Bladewing. So I think we wait to kick the Grow from the Ashes next turn instead. And Gideon pluses on Hallar. And Tatsamok revealed as well. Alright, found an Untamed Kavu instead, which we could kick, but I kind of like kicking the Grow from the Ashes here, and then running out Verix Bladewing next turn, since that works out better for the sequencing for Tatsamok, since if we kick the Untamed Kavu, our opponent next turn reveals, and then on 6 kills it, while if we kick Grow from the Ashes this turn, and then play Verix Bladewing kick next turn, then on turn 6, they have to reveal again to the Verix Bladewing and the token, instead of being able to play Tatsamok. Let's kick this. Firefletcher doesn't deal any damage to our opponent because of Gideon, but still gets the counter, and I don't think we run out the Untamed Kavu here as a 2/2. But this Tatsamok's definitely going to be an issue. It's a great card against our deck. And Fumigate's just going to wipe the board. And Gideon gets in there for 4. Rhonas is not bad, but we're just gonna kick this Verix Bladewing, I think. Alright, opponent's got 6 mana. They could just cast a Tatsamok, but they're probably gonna reveal it first instead. And Gideon gets in there. So I guess I could have another Fumigate incoming. Yeah, still don't think we chump. So we'll take 4. Tatsamok revealed. Opponent says go. Guess they could also have a Settle the Wreckage here. Not much we can do about that one. So let's just attack Gideon with both. Try and get that off the board. Play around the potential spot removal spell on one of our creatures. Yep, there's a Settle the Wreckage. Get 2 lands, which are still useful with Rhonas. So I think we just run out Rhonas. That way they don't get to kill it with Tatsamok. Force them to plus with Gideon. And Gideon does get in. So they're not afraid of Rhonas being able to attack. Tatsamok reveal to Rhonas, doesn't do anything. Alright, so they could easily have another Settle the Wreckage here. Not much we can do about it. Have to pressure the Gideon. So let's kick this Kavu. Let's see, if we go to combat, they have a spot removal spell for Kavu. That would be bad. But if we play out the second Kavu, then Tatsamok is going to be pretty painful, especially if they have another swamp. I'm going to run out the Kavu anyways here. And attack Gideon. Alright, Gideon down. And end of turn Garna. Sure. And a mountain, so they can double reveal Tatsamok to kill the Kavus and then get in for 9, thanks to Garna giving haste. Alright, so this Tatsamok is definitely gonna do a number on us. Alright, opponent gets in for 9, and we're dead. On to sideboarding against Mardu removal. How do we want to sideboard? So definitely want the Bestiaries. I think we want Nissa. And let's see, Brontodon doesn't do anything. And then definitely want our Blossoming Defense against spot removal. Then don't want our Shivan Fires, don't want the Abrades. I'll keep the Fight with Fire, as it can go to the face. Yeah, it seems okay. Who would like to be on the play? This hand seems great. We've got our 2 sideboard cards. So let's see how they are gonna affect the matchup. So we can go turn 1 Llanowar Elves, turn 2 Bestiary, turn 3 kicked Hallar maybe. Seems fine. Let's run out Bestiary. Definitely want to try and find untapped land so we can draw a card with Hallar. So scry with Bestiary. Elfhame Druid, I guess this works. We can keep it on top and then play that, draw a card. Find a forest, and then we'll play a tapped thicket over. I don't think we need to keep up Blossoming Defense here. Can do that next turn. Play Hallar, draw a card, and then keep up defense. And get in of the trials, that's fine. Makes an emblem. A Grand Warlord Radha would be pretty nice here. Or just a Glorybringer. So I don't think we want a mountain. Ooh, speak of the devil. So yeah, let's play Grand Warlord and pay the green. I guess we'll pay the green with the elf so we can keep up Blossoming Defense. Attack Gideon. And say go. 4 mana for the opponent. They say go. Scry with Bestiary. Grow from the Ashes. Could be okay. It's probably fine, since that sets up our Fight with Fire nicely. Let's just attack with Radha and Llanowar Elves. I'm fine if they have a Selder Wreckage here, since that also helps us with Fight with Fire. Alright, opponent takes it. It's probably better not to run out Hallar into Fumigate here, although it would be nice to have Hallar in play when we kick Grow from the Ashes. But let's just cast this with Kicker. Double green. I'll respect the Fumigate here, since I didn't have the Selder Wreckage or any other removal spells. So Fumigate happens. Scry with Bestiary. Bottom the forest. Untamed Kavu is nice, but I think we just play Hallar, draw a card. And then say go. And then next turn we'll kick the Kavu. Liliana Death's Majesty is fine. It's gonna make a zombie. Scry with Bestiary. Don't want another Hallar. Find a forest. So let's kick this Kavu. Trigger Hallar and Bestiary. Draw a card. And then attack Liliana with Hallar. Opponent lets it happen, and we'll just Blossoming Defense here to make sure to kill Liliana in case they have a Fumigate or Selder Wreckage next turn. Alright, we're not in a bad spot here. 2 big creatures in play, Fight with Fire in hand, and a Bestiary drawing us some more cards. Opponent says go. Bottom the land. Find another land. I think we just attack with Hallar because of a potential Selder Wreckage. And if that one dies, we get to play another one. Opponent takes it. So we could just deal 10 to our opponent here, which seems fine. And then deal 1 more damage with Hallar. So we did miss out on a damage by not kicking this first, but if Hallar ended up dying, we wanted to play another one. So our opponent's at 2. Scry with Bestiary. And Allosaurus seems fine here. So let's kick the Allosaurus and draw a card. And our opponent scoops it up. Alright, on to game 3 against Mardu. Do we want to change anything? Don't think so. Our sideboard plan worked out beautifully there. Opponent might bring in some Abrades to answer Bestiary, but we can't do anything about that. Alright, let's run it back. Alright, we're on the draw this time, and we don't have the Bestiary, but I think the sand is probably still keepable. Some early acceleration, fight with fire to eventually deal some damage to our opponents. And Nissa was an excellent pickup here. Alright, let's attack for 1. Play Elfhame Druid. Might see an Abrade here. Yep. Opponent did indeed bring in Abrade to maybe answer the Bestiary as well. Alright, let's get in for 1 with Elf. Play a tapped Thicket, say go. Next turn we can Nissa if we want to, or we can run out a kicked Kavu. Tormenting Voice, discarding Gideon, just to try and hit land drops maybe. Alright, picked up Hallar as well. So one of the issues with Nissa Plus here is that if our opponent has a Fumigate next turn, we'll lose one of our lands, but that might still be okay. The other option is a kicked Kavu or just playing Hallar. Attack for 1 with Elf. I think I like playing Nissa here. Could also minus to get back Elfhame Druid, but that doesn't seem great. So I'm okay plussing here on the land. And if they do Fumigate, that's fine. And then we still have the option of ultimating Nissa, which is also going to be great in a longer game. Let's see if they have a Fatal Push maybe. Or a Seal Away. Sure. So that exiles our land. So that makes it less likely that they have a Fumigate incoming. Vraska's Contempt on Nissa would be annoying. And Liliana instead. That's fine. Pluses to make a zombie. Alright, Verix Bladewing. So don't have a land currently to be able to fully take advantage of Nissa. I think what I like here is fight with fire the zombie, animate a land and attack for 6 at Liliana. Get rid of the Planeswalker before it gets out of hand. And also get rid of any pressure on Nissa so we can keep plussing. And if we ultimate now, we won't lose our Planeswalker. Fumigate now would be pretty painful, not gonna lie. Definitely want to draw lands at this point. Alright, that's a mock revealed to Llanowar Elves. They're not gonna bother revealing it to the land, so they might be keeping up Cellar Wreckage here as well. Alright, perfect, so now we can ultimate Nissa, play a land, draw a card. I definitely would like to draw a card. Alright, so now what? Probably just gonna run out a kicked Kavu. I guess we could also run out a Firefletcher and then set up for the kicked Kavu next turn. I guess we can attack for 1 with Elf. And now that we have the Nissa emblem out, we should be favored in a longer game. Abrade on Hallar. That's good. Probably means they don't have the lands lined up for Tatsamok yet. Play a land, draw a card. Ooh, Glorybringer's a nice one, but there's no creature in play currently that we need to take care of. So I think I just like attacking for 1 and then playing a Kavu. And then next turn maybe play Kicked Bladewing. Garna, the Blood Flame. Alright. I guess what I could have considered was just tapping a land for mana, untapping it, and playing a Kicked Verix Bladewing right now, since I forgot about Nissa this turn. But this is still gonna work out fine, I think. Garna ambushes Llanowar Elves. It's no big deal. So if our opponent finds a land, they could just run out a hasty Tatsamok next turn. So we could just fight with Fire Garna, which is probably okay. But are we really that worried about a hasty Tatsamok? I don't think so. So let's just play a kicked Kavu. And then plus on a land, which can also help protect our Planeswalker. Tatsamok revealed on the Kavu, and Garna doesn't attack. Alright. Let's play a land, draw a card. And I think we just attack with the Kavu, and then play a kicked Bladewing by untapping a land and floating mana. Opponent takes it. Kicked Bladewing. So we might be overextending into Fumigate a little bit, but that's okay. Seal away on the land. That's fine. So we are further away from a kicked Fight with Fire, but if they still rank us, we'll have plenty of lands. Alright, Fumigate anyway, so they didn't really have a reason to seal away, so they must have top-decked the Fumigate there. Alright, Grand Warlord Radha isn't bad, so we can play the Warlord, attack with the land and the Warlord. I think I like that better than Glorybringer, since that's a hasty threat that can maybe fly over a Tatsamok. Play the Warlord. I guess we can play land first, draw a card with Nissa. Alright, doesn't change anything. Play Warlord, untap land, and attack for 8. Make 2 mana that we're not gonna use. Opponent's at 8, and we'll say go. So they finally have 6 mana for Tatsamok, but if they just tap out for Tatsamok, they're gonna be in trouble. Alright, it's a Liliana instead. So that can minus to get back something, instead it pluses. So now Glorybringer's pretty appealing. And yeah, now our opponent's just dead to the Glorybringer. So play land, draw a card, and then run out Glorybringer. And that should do it. Alright, sweet, managed to beat Mardu Control. On to the next one. Alright, we're on the draw, and this hand seems okay. We've got our Elfhame Druid to ramp us. Some removal. If they kill our Mana Elf, we can always run out Kavu on 2. Alright, up against some sort of mono-red deck. Let's run out the Druid. We've got a backup one. If it dies, it gets killed by a Shivan Fire. Of all removal spells, opponent's still not playing any creatures. Let's try and do the same. I guess we could run out Rhonas and next turn play Bladewing. That might actually be better here. We're not playing the Bladewing kicked, but Rhonas will dodge any burn spell. Bladewing is going to require a pretty specific burn spell, or 2 of them. And then if we draw a 5th land, we can just play a kicked Kavu to enable Rhonas as well. Alright, let's run out the Bladewing. I mean, I guess we could play Llanowar Elves plus Elfhame Druid, which sets up for a kicked Bladewing. Alright, that might actually be better here. But now, of course, our opponent can just kill our Mana Elves if they want to. Yep, shock on the Elfhame Druid. I guess that makes it less likely that they can double burn or Verix Bladewing, so I guess that's still okay. And now we can also just play kicked Kavu if Llanowar Elf survives. Tormenting Voice discarding Fight with Fire, I see. So your opponent's definitely some sort of mono-red control deck trying to kill us with a kicked Fight with Fire. And yeah, let's just play the Kavu kicked. And then we can attack for 6. And if we draw land next turn, play kicked Bladewing. So, definitely doing alright. Something like a Hour of Devastation could be pretty painful. So we have to be careful not to overextend into a sweeper. Yep. Alright. It's gonna kill our Rhonas as well. And make it so we're 1 mana away, even if we top deck a land, from kicking the Bladewing. So we could run out Bladewing for 4, but I think we wait. Try and get more value. Force them to have a 2nd Hour of Devastation. Jaya Ballard. That's of course the reason to stay mono-red. Jaya pluses, opponent discards. Discarding 2 lands and a reunion. and plays a land. Alright, let's play Hallar. Jaya pluses for mana. So they could kick a Fight with Fire here for 9 mana. Instead it's a Sweltering Suns. Alright, let's kick a Grow from the Ashes. Next turn kick Verix Bladewing, hope they didn't pick up a second Hour of Devastation. So we can start pressuring their Planeswalker. Jaya pluses for mana. Could just be dead to double Fight with Fire, but they already discarded one of them. Yep, there's Fight with Fire number 1. And down to 10. Yeah, let's play the Bladewing. So if they ultimate, they can just cast cards from their graveyard. But of course they won't have the mana to play kicked Fight with Fire. But they would be able to wipe the board with Hour of Devastation. Opponent emblems. Plays another Jaya. Pluses for mana. And this Hour of Devastation is going to put Jaya back to 1. But then next turn they can plus for mana and then kick a Fight with Fire out of the graveyard. So yeah, next turn they can just kick a Fight with Fire. So we need to find a Glorybringer to kill Jaya here. Or another haste creature. Did not get there. So we'll let the opponent go through the motions here. That Hour of Devastation was pretty devastating indeed. So Jaya pluses for mana. Play a kicked Fight with Fire out of the graveyard. Alright. On to game 2 against the mono-red Jaya. So, definitely want our Bestiaries. Definitely want our Nissa. Blossoming Defense seems great. Take out Shivan Fire and Abrade. And Deathgorge Scavenger seems okay as well. Gain some life, exile some cards out of the graveyard. I guess we don't need all 3 Fight with Fires. 2 is probably enough. Alright, let's try this. Who would like to be on the play? And this hand is probably a keep, just because of the Bestiary. And the Blossoming Defense is not bad either. Hope to find a 3rd land soon. And hope they don't have an Abrade. Alright. Don't think we run out of Kavu for 2 mana. Since it's just gonna die. Yeah, I think I'll wait. If we miss on a land this turn, then I'm kind of forced to play the Kavu. Alright. Did not get there on the lands. Hope this eats an Abrade. Magma Spray instead. Alright. Think we wait. Don't want to run out another Kavu here. Since we kind of needed to draw extra cards once the Bestiary is in play. To make sure we keep hitting land drops. Alright, let's hope they don't have the Abrade. Alright, so far so good. And no Jaya either. That's great for us. Scry, try to find lands, bottom the Allosaurus, find the land. Alright, so now I think I'm okay playing a Kavu, drawing a card. And then next turn we can play 4-drop, draw a card, hopefully. So we can also keep up the Blossoming Defense. Alright, Elfhame Druid can also draw us a card. A Lightning Strike on Kavu. It is pretty tempting to just Blossoming Defense here. Since we get to use up all our mana, we might not be able to do so next turn. Although Blossoming Defense does combine nicely with the Warlord here. Since we can make mana, and then still Blossoming Defense before damage. There's Jaya. Pluses, they discard 3 lands, wow. But we will be able to play Radha next turn, hopefully. So again, trying to find a land with the Bestiary. Keep that on top. Play Radha, draw a card, and attack Jaya. And I think it's probably okay to run out the Llanowar Elves and give up on a little bit of card advantage, just so that we can maybe kick the Bladewing next turn. Jaya pluses for mana. They could kick a Fight with Fire and kill both creatures, instead Sweltering Suns, plus another burn spell, Lightning Strike. Scry. Hallar is interesting. Think we keep Hallar. And then play him, draw a card. Alright, did not find a land, otherwise we could have also played the Druid here. A Lightning Strike, Jaya pluses, discards a Magma Spray, Scry, another Bestiary can go to the bottom. Fight with Fire is interesting. Think we run out Scavenger and then exile the Sweltering Suns, probably. Draw a card, hope to find a land, so we can also play the Druid. Could also gain 2 life, which is relevant since double Fight with Fire kills us, and if we gain 2 life it no longer does. That might be more relevant than getting rid of the Sweltering Suns in the graveyard here actually. So let's gain 2, and they Magma Spray the Scavenger. That's fine. Still get to gain 2 life. And then play Elfhame Druid. Don't get to draw a card with it, but that's okay. Alright, opponent's almost empty-handed. We still have a pretty full hand thanks to the Bestiary. So we are doing fine. Can probably expect them to have an Hour of Devastation still in hand to answer the Bladewing, but that's also gonna knock down some loyalty from Jaya. Tormenting Voice, fair enough. Discarding Hour of Devastation. And Etali Primal Storm. I see. So that's kind of their plan against decks in sideboarded games. Fight with Fire not big enough to kill Etali, unfortunately. Another Verix Bladewing we can probably bottom. And another Fight with Fire to draw. So let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're 1 mana away from kicking this. A land would have made it so we would win in 2 turns. Or we can kill the Etali as well. Instead we will just be playing Bladewing with Kicker, which is still pretty good here. And we get to draw a card. I'll definitely play this Sheltered Thicket tapped. Say go. If they have another Hour of Devastation, Etali would survive. And so would Jaya. So that would be annoying, since then we also can't kick the Fight with Fire. Their own Fight with Fire would also wrath our board. Instead another Tormenting Voice. If Etali attacks, I think we just double block it. Let's see what Etali exiles. Mountain and Glorybringer. One of those is better than the other. At least it's not attacking. I guess we could just take it and then kick Fight with Fire, killing both creatures, attack our opponent for 8. It's probably better. Let's see if we double block. Let's say they have just a burn spell, they could kill both creatures, but if they don't, they only get to kill one of our creatures. I think I'll just take it here. And then hope they don't have a way to kill the Elfhame Druid before we untap. Shock on the Elfhame Druid. Alright, that's unfortunate. So that messed up our plan. So Rhonas is not bad. So let's kill Glorybringer. And then kill Jaya. Could have also kicked the Allosaurus, but I wanted to play Rhonas this turn, draw a card. And Rhonas also just blocks Etali. Shivan Fire with Kicker, wow, okay. It's pretty good here. Kills our Bladewing. Jaya still alive. Play Rhonas, draw a card. But our opponent is empty-handed. And we're still holding 4 cards that are all pretty good. And our opponent can't really attack with Etali unless they're willing to sacrifice it. Jaya discards. Discards a Shivan Fire. Alright, and once we get Jaya off the board, it should be pretty easy from there. No attacks from Etali. Untap, scry. Grow from the ashes, you say. Don't think we need that. Find a Nissa instead. That's not a bad one. So we could attack Jaya with just our dragon. They would need another Shivan Fire kick to kill it, and they just discarded one, and there's 3 in the graveyard, so that's pretty unlikely. So I think I like attacking Jaya with the dragon token, see what happens. That works. And then we could Nissa minus get something back, like the Elfhame Druid, and then we can still play it. It's pretty tempting. Since this is gonna facilitate our Fight with Fire kicked. Don't get to draw a card, but that's okay. I guess we could have also gotten back Llanowar Elves, but then 5, 6, 7, 8, that would not necessarily have been enough if we didn't find a land. Alright, opponent's got 2 cards in hand. They better be good. Etali attacks. So opponent may be trying to top deck their way out of this with Etali. Sweltering Suns and Sheltered Thicket. So they can cast the Sweltering Suns just to kill the Elfhame Druid. But then we still get to block with Rhonas, since they didn't have another burn spell to finish off, or Dragon Token. And this should lock up the game. Alright, on to a game 3 against Jaya Burn. I imagine our opponent's going to bring in some Abrades to answer the Bestiary now, but that's fine. Don't really have a clean answer to Etali that we can bring in, so we'll just run it back, and this sounds okay. Turn 3 Rhonas, turn 5 Glorybringer, going back to the Teamer Energy days. Alright, Radha's pretty good as well. 3, 4, 5, nice curve if we find one land. And Blossoming Defense plus Radha is also a nice combo. Alright, I guess Elfhame Druid is gonna eat a removal spell, but that's fine. Still gonna run her out there. And it's a Shivan Fire. That's a Shivan Fire that's not gonna kill a Glorybringer or a Radha. Alright, let's hope to find land number 5 soon. Tormenting Voice perhaps, discarding Magma Spray. Alright, there's land number 5, but it's tapped. I think we still run out Radha since our opponent's unable to cast Hour of Devastation next turn. Alright, opponent down to 17. Still wouldn't mind finding an untapped land. We'll see what our opponent does here. Alright, opponent's stuck on 3 lands. It's gonna make it a lot easier. So now we could just pump the Grand Warlord with Rhonas, attack with both. If they try and kill the Warlord, we have Blossoming Defense. Magma Spray is fine. And this is gonna be the ultimate blowout. Blossoming Defense. And attack for 10. And yeah, that's just gonna be the game. Alright, managed to beat Mono Red Jaya Burn. On to the next one. On the draw, and this hand is pretty good. Turn 1 Elf, turn 2 Hallar potentially. Turn 1 Swamp from the opponent. Picking up another mountain is nice for Glorybringer. Cast down kills Llanowar Elves, so we'll just play Elfhame Druid instead. And if they kill this one as well, we can play Hallar. Alright, Fatal Push into Treasure Map. Let's play Hallar. And we might just grow from the ashes next turn, and then we can still Abrade the Treasure Map as well. Seems pretty good. Ooh, Grand Warlord instead. It's gotta be the play. So play Warlord, attack with both, and then Abrade the Treasure Map. Alright, so in a pretty good spot here. 2 legends in play that don't die to cast down or Fatal Push. And our opponent scoops it up. Alright, so up against Mono Black. How do we want to sideboard? So did see Treasure Map, can probably expect a bunch of removal spells, so Blossoming Defense seems good. Nissa seems okay, even though she does die to Vraska's Contempt. Don't think we want Shivan Fires. And I think we want Brontodon over Abrade as an additional threat to blow up potential artifacts. And then the Bestiary seems okay as well. And then can probably shave a Fight with Fire. Allosaurus can probably go as well. Yeah, this seems fine. And the advantage of Allosaurus over Abrade is that it also draws us a card with a Bestiary. Alright, this hand's pretty good. Alright, let's play the Thicket, say go. Next turn do the same, and on 3 we can play the Bestiary. Turn 2 Gifted Aetherborn. That's a card we definitely could have expected, but we do still have to Fight with Fire in the deck. So that's a potential reason to want to Abrade over the Brontodon but I'm sure we'll manage. Alright, treasure map. So our opponent off to a good start. Let's play the Bestiary. And then hope to scry into a land. Could have also been okay to play Grow from the Ashes there, just to make sure we can play a Warlord next turn. A land on top. We could play Rhonas and then draw a card, or we can play the Warlord, which I don't really mind if it dies, although then we don't get to draw the card. That's probably fine still. This kind of ramps us in a weird way as well. And I don't think we want to stay back with the Warlord, since don't really want to block the Gifted Aetherborn. And now our opponent might stay back with Aetherborn, which is fine. So our opponent transforms Treasure Map. And Gonti, Lord of Luxury, is not bad. Can still attack into it with our Warlord, so it's not the end of the world. So now they might attack with Aetherborn, we'll see. If they do. Scry with the Bestiary. Land is good, but it is a tap land. I guess we still keep it. And then we can attack with the Warlord, make a mana, and then play Bladewing and still draw a card. Opponent does trade. I guess we could also play kicked Grow from the Ashes, and then next turn kick a Bladewing. That's also pretty appealing. But I kind of like getting a creature in play here and still have a second Bladewing. So yeah, let's play the Bladewing here. Find a third one. Say go. I think I'm okay trading, since we have 2 more Bladewings. And the Bestiary should allow us to win the late game. Alright, opponent got a Brontodon. That's a pretty good one here. Can kill our Bestiary. So there goes our late game plan. But I think we'll still be okay. Can play a Warlord and then just play Grow from the Ashes normally, which would give us 7 lands next turn. So even if the Warlord dies, we can still kick a Bladewing. If they have a Vraska's Contempt, for example, that wouldn't work. I think I'll still try it here. Let's see if they let us attack. They don't. So Vraska's Contempt is my guess. That's fine. Play a forest, say go. So now if we draw lands, we get to play kick Bladewing. Opponent still has 2 treasures they can sacrifice here. Alright, perfect. And we're trying to bait out the Vraska's Contempt so that Rhonas survives. So the game is pretty even at this point. Opponent's drawn some extra cards with the Treasure Cove. We're ahead on board. We still have some resources left in hand. Ooh, a kick Josuves, so yep, that's probably gonna be the game here. 8 2/2 Zombie Knight tokens, don't have a great answer to those. So probably have to stay back now and even have a Menace. So blocking is not really gonna work out. So is there any way we survive here? So yeah, I don't think we have a great way out of this one. I guess we just play a Rhonas and a Brontodon, stay back. But I think we're still dead here. So as long as our opponent attacks with everyone, we should be dead. Cabal Stronghold is definitely a good card, allowing them to generate extra mana there. Alright, so let's say we block here. Block here. Yeah, if they didn't have Menace, we maybe still had a chance, but the tokens having Menace as well. It's pretty backbreaking here. I guess we only take 14, but that's still enough to kill us here exactly. So it took a little bit too much damage from the Aetherborn early on. Alright, so how do we want to reevaluate here? Abrade is tempting to kill Treasure Map, and Aetherborn and Gaunt even might be better than one Brontodon, and then I guess we can maybe shave a Kavu, since it doesn't match up very well against the Death Touch creatures. And leave in 2 Fight with Fire seems fine. Would like to be on the play. And this hand's pretty good. Turn 1 Elf, turn 3 Warlord. And turn 4 Nissa potentially. Alright, they got a failed push. So off to a slower start. And there's a turn to Aetherborn. Alright. And Doomfall's gonna take a look at our hand. Probably just gonna take the Nissa. Alright, they go for the Warlord instead. Find a Firefletcher. Don't mind running that out there. Wait on the Bladewing if we can. And I'm fine trading this for the Aetherborn. Gonti. Opponent gets their nice 2-for-1 here. Alright, let's hope they didn't find anything too powerful. I will block. So we can Nissa, minus get back Hallar, but then Nissa dies to Gonti. So I think I just like Nissa plus, keep our land on defense, hope it doesn't die. The fact that they didn't take it with the Doomfall probably means they have a Vraska's Contempt. Could also play the Bladewing this turn instead, but we're pretty close to kicking it. Alright, so I think I'll Nissa, plus on a land, play defense, hope to ultimate next turn. Seems unlikely, but we can try. Yep, Contempt on Nissa. No attack with Gonti. Alright, I'm fine trading for the Warlord. Definitely need to find one of our card advantage cards here, like the Bestiary. Opponent trades. Play a land, say go. Opponent finds land number 5. And Elfhame Druid was the card they found, so not too exciting. And another Aetherborn. Let's play Hallar. Still want to hang on to the Bladewing so we can kick it. The fact that they took Elfhame Druid might mean that I have a Josu Vest in hand, which is pretty funny since the Elfhame Druid also helps with the kicker. Another Gonti, yep, that's pretty good against our deck. If we can kick this Verix Bladewing, we could be okay though. Alright, nice. Fatal push a token. Alright, opponent's got 1 card left in hand, plus the card they got from Gonti. Gets him for 2, we'll take it. Uh-oh. Alright, Untamed Kavu with kicker. Into another Aetherborn. Alright, there's our Bestiary. But it might be too late at this point, since now we kind of have to play defense with the Bladewing. And we're gonna take a beating from our own Kavu. But this is a card we needed to get back into this. So definitely blocking the Aetherborn here. Take 7 down to 9. And now we have to string some creatures together. That's the start. I think we take that. Draw a card. Just a mountain, I'll play it. Say go. And then trading for Gonti. Alright, down to 4. Get us Cry here. Rhonas does let us draw an extra card, but if we play Rhonas plus draw a card, then we're down to 4 mana, which might not be enough to play a kicked Kavu, a Glorybringer, although Glorybringer wouldn't even be great here. I don't think we can keep Rhonas. Let's bottom and find a Sheltered Thicket which we can cycle. Elfhame Druid is a redraw and technically keeps us alive. Draw a card. Another Bestiary. Alright. They came a little bit too late this game. Let's see if our opponent has a removal spell for the Druid to finish us off. Yep, never to return. And our own Kavu is gonna be our demise here. Alright, GG's. Pretty close game against Mono Black. Had to find our Bestiaries a little bit sooner to get ahead on cards. Alright, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this gameplay. And as always, have a nice day. I also want to thank all my patrons for supporting the channel, and you can do so yourself as well over at patreon.com/LegenVD, where you get cool rewards for supporting the channel, as well as getting us closer to our goals, where with every goal reached we will release an additional weekly series. So if you want to see more content, Patreon is the place to go.